become things, man. Like they can talk stuff into their body believing it. It's just on the opposite side of that. What happens when Charles is getting off the stool for the third, fourth, fifth round? You see your own blood and you're in a real fight after telling yourself this for however many weeks that you're going to run through this guy, and the guy's in front of you, touching you, and still there when you thought he wouldn't be.
I think he's a fighter, you know, especially with the confidence that he has right now with those wins over Max and Volkanovski. I think, you know, confidence is the biggest factor when you step in there. You have to believe, you know, in yourself first and foremost. And so, yeah, I think just made the most exciting weight class in this sport a little bit more exciting.
Christian! Yo, this is the main event, locked in. Oh my God!
Your take on Ilia's performance, and do you think that he gives Islam a run for the money he is pound for pound right now?
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, he did exactly what he said he's going to do. He is an absolute complete fighter. You know, stand up is beautiful, ground, grappling, everything. Yeah, this kid's a star.
From a punching power standpoint, you know, he knocks out Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira, you know, 3 amazing fighters in a row. Is he the hardest hitter pound for pound that the UFC?
Topuria has never faced that pressure. You gotta gas him out early. No! No! No!
Pound for pound that the UFC has ever had.
He's on a great 3-fight win streak for sure. You know, all legends that he knocked out. I don't know. I don't know where he sits pound for pound punching power, but you know, moving up a weight class like that and doing what you say you're going to do in the first round and the way he did it is very impressive. Again, to go in and say exactly what you're going to do and then do it in the way that he did it.
Contender in the world, Ilia Topuria!
Incredible. I mean, what a performance, what a victory, and what a new champion. This sport just continues to be more and more exciting.
Easy how much different cardio is when you have to incorporate grappling. Like a stand-up kickboxing fight, pretty much what that was. Both dudes in good shape. 5th round, still throwing heavy.
I thought Topuria looked phenomenal, bro.
He always does. When is he not?
That he shot.
Were you able to watch the Ilia-Charles fight?
Nah, man. I just see the last punches, you know. Like 1 year and a half. I see Topuria in some events. I'm on the gas fighter, and I talk to Topuria brother. I'm a huge fan, you know. The way you did, the way you fight, it's so nice, you know. And then when he put this fight to put in Charles, so tough to me, you know. But of course, I need to support Charlie. Charles is an icon from.
Time ago with the win. Can't wait for him to come back up to lightweight. I still think I'd beat him. I really do. I still think I'd beat him, mad whether he's just beat Max Holloway or not. I still think I'd beat him.
Oh, he dropped him.
I think Ilia's going to win. I don't really want him to win. I'm a big Max Holloway fan, but I think it's a bad fight. I think it's a bad stylistic fight for Max, to be honest. I'm looking forward to this one though. This is exciting.
What do you call it when a fight plays out like a spoiler you already read? That's what Topuria versus Charles Oliveira felt like. Before the cage door closed, the story was already being whispered. A cold promise, a tight timeline, and no room for doubt. Topuria didn't just predict a finish, he put a clock on it. Under 3. Not someday, not maybe. Under 3. It sounded less like bravado and more like a warning dressed as a headline. His brother even stamped it after the weigh-ins, saying Charles wouldn't see the 4th. They weren't hyping, they were forecasting, with the kind of confidence that either makes you a prophet or a punchline. Charles heard all of it and didn't flinch. He kept it simple. Let's see what he's really made of. That wasn't trash talk, that was a veteran's calm. He promised to punish any recklessness, to catch mistakes in motion the way only a seasoned operator can. Oliveira's path was clear. Drag chaos into deep water, force errors, cash in on the ground. The blueprint was familiar, the danger obvious. The only problem, the mistake never arrived. Topuria came in sharp, measured, patient. Every step looked planned, every punch thrown with a purpose. No extra ink on the page. Even Max Holloway, who's felt both men's timing and toughness, split the difference when weighing in. He warned people not to overlook Charles early. The guy can spring traps in seconds. But he also admitted Topuria's power is different. There's a weight to it that changes the math. That nuance aged perfectly, because once it started, you could feel the room tilt. No frantic trading, no reckless sprint, just pressure without waste. Footwork that stole angles, feints that told lies Charles had to respect. It wasn't volume, it was placement. Not a storm, more like a slow, cold front that squeezes the air out of everything. The crowd online had already drifted the same way. Reddit threads, prediction videos, betting slips, they kept landing on the same square. KO inside 3. There were true believers riding with Oliveira's experience, the encyclopedic transitions, the ability to turn scrambles into ambushes. That faith is never crazy with Charles, but belief needs opportunity, and opportunity needs a crack. Topuria didn't give one. The moments when Charles usually builds momentum, the slip to counter, the snatch of a neck in a scramble, never showed up. Instead, the rhythm belonged to Ilia. Jab that kept the doors locked, a counter that made Charles think twice, a body shot here, a leg touch there. Little taxes that add up. This wasn't one of those wild firefights that blur on replay. It was control disguised as patience. The pace looked manageable until it wasn't. You could sense the pressure stacking, each clean touch taking a little bit of tomorrow away from Charles. Fans kept waiting for the famous momentum swing, the sudden turn that Oliveira has lived in for years. It stayed out of reach. When the decisive moment came, it didn't feel sudden. It felt inevitable, like punctuation at the end of a sentence you'd been reading since the first bell. Under 3. Called shot. Done. Look back at the talk and it reads like foreshadowing. Topuria didn't just say what he'd do, he set terms. Oliveira answered with pride and poise, trusting a lifetime of problem solving to flip the script. Max framed the stakes with eerie accuracy. Early danger, but a power you can't ignore. The orbit around the fight, stat heads, gamblers, highlight hunters kept circling the same outcome, and when it finally happened, there was no chaos to debate, no razor-thin call to argue. It was decisive in that way. Fans and fighters both respect, because it resolves questions instead of creating new ones. Does that mean the book is closed? Not exactly. Every finish creates as many questions as it answers. Could Charles have forced more clinch time? Could he have slowed the entries with heavier kicks? Would a different pace have pulled Ilia into the kind of scramble that Charles turns into gold? Maybe, but maybe can't rewrite what happened. On this night, the guy who drew the map walked it without getting lost. The promised window stayed open just long enough, and he didn't waste a second of it. What lingers now isn't just the highlight, it's the feeling that a line got crossed. The new era talk isn't hype for the sake of it. It's the logical conclusion when someone calls their shot and then lands it exactly where they said they would. That kind of clarity echoes. It changes how future opponents prepare, how analysts talk, how fans expect. Predictions usually float. This one landed with both feet, and the people who saw it coming aren't surprised. They're nodding, replaying the pre-fight quotes, and realizing those weren't predictions at all. They were instructions. The fight followed them to the letter.